Hey guys, you're watching Mrs. B's Vaping Sweets, and today we're going to talk about Serious Sherbert from Simply. They're based here in Columbus, Ohio, and if you watched my previous video on Envious Elvis, you know so far I already like the company, but gotta try different flavors to find out what they taste like. So, today I filled my tank, and we're going to do Serious Sherbert. It's a handcrafted VG. It is a 6 milligram nicotine. I went straight from 2 packs, as you heard in the previous video if you watched it, to 6 milligram nicotine. And it is not that hard. It's actually a lot better. As I rated before, the bottles, I give the bottle itself, the design, a 8 out of 10 because it could have a flavor description on it. It would be nice to have something like that right there with the name. And that would make it a lot easier for people who have allergies, as I stated before. It is Simply E-Juice, is made with love in Columbus, Ohio. It is local based in the 614. Probably more area codes than that because we're all mixed in here. But the warning label is right there. It says, warning, contains PG, VG, natural, and artificial flavors and nicotine. Keep away from pets and children. That I like. Warning label is there. But it might be smart to add in, some people may be allergic to e-liquids. Make sure that you put something down like that. Because if it's naturally extracted, people can still have an allergic reaction if they're allergic to a certain flavor or a certain fruit or a certain nut. So, with that said, the child safety on this bottle, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 because it could be a little bit harder to open, but it's not. Excuse me. It's fairly simple to open. That's not good. I'm not a fan of easy to open e-liquids because I have a child. And it's not fun to be worried about something like that getting into the hands of your child. Obviously, keep it up. Definitely. I keep mine in a nice little lockbox locked in, the hall closet has a lock on the top. So it makes it a lot easier to keep this stuff out of reach, which all parents should obviously be responsible, but not just parents. As a person, to be respectful to people who do have kids, you definitely want to keep that up. Especially if you're like a babysitter or anything like that, because honestly nobody wants to have that kind of an issue. And it does cause liver failure if it is ingested, so don't drink it. It may smell like it's delicious to eat, but don't drink any of them. With that said, we got the tank full. We are starting at 20 watts today at the beginning of this session, as I always do, start at 20. Anything lower than that is for people who like the mouth-to-throat hits, which is just like a cigarette where you draw it in and then inhale, but most people kind of, just straight up inhale. I'm a mouth-to-throat person with cigarettes, but with vaping, I am straight to throat, so it's a big difference. And I would like to specify with some people, it may be harder to do a mouth-to-throat hit. So if you have a hard time with that, try straight on throat hit and go until you don't want to go anymore. If you're doing your little inhale, take it moderate, especially if you're a beginner. Take it very moderately because you don't know what your limit is yet. You want to work your body up to something like that because it is a drastic change. Now, let's get to vaping because that's what this is all about. That is very orangey. I like that. But I'm trying to understand. I'm wondering if it's a rainbow sherbet flavor because it does not have a description on the bottle. And I am the type of person, I don't like to just read it. I ask the person who I'm buying it from, does it have peach in it? Because I'm allergic to peaches. And if they say they have no idea, then I will be the type of person that's like, well, could you find out? Then if it doesn't have peach or has no resemblance of having my allergen in it, then I go ahead and just grab it and vape it instead of reading the description that's written on your the little menus they give to the actual store. I am not that person. I want to know exactly what it is on my bottle. Because if you've never vaped this kind of stuff before, you want to be able to grab that bottle and be like, okay, I know exactly what this is. Because I have a lot of friends that like to borrow vapes, and if they're allergic to something, I can't be like, well, it's in here. Because I don't know unless I've literally looked it up and written it down for myself. And you shouldn't have to do that. So we should definitely get into putting a small, short description on the bottle. But the orange flavor is definitely overpowering. So if it's rainbow sherbet, it is not showing through any other flavors. Just the orange. It's very clear, and I think that it's very orangey. It has, I rate all of my bites, which is the throat hit, as stated before, on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being very, very minimal, if not even there, or 5 very evident and super overpowering. And I am not one of those people. I can't handle very harsh vapes. So, with that said, let's go up to 25 watts and vape there. We are now at 25. It's still very clear on the orange. The bite is definitely a 1. It hasn't really changed with that 5-watt increment, but sometimes it might not. You might have to go a little higher to get a little bit higher of a bite. So let's vape another one and then go up again. Still really orangey, and the bite is still at a 1. So let's go up to 30. I'm at 30, by the way. It's still very orange. The orange is an extremely dominant flavor, so it's making me feel like I'm smoking, or vaping, sorry. The lingo is really hard to switch to. Some people have a hard time with that. I know I do. But the orange is very overpowering. It is like a straight orange sherbet to me, is what it tastes like. I don't know if that's what they were going for, but that's exactly what it tastes like to me. The orange is very overpowering. I know I've said that a lot, but it is very dominant in flavor. So let's go up to 35. We're at 35 watts now. It's still very orange. The orange is a very, very predominant flavor, and I'm really not picking up any other flavors. But the bite did change to about a 3, and that is a big difference to me. It's very orange, and the bite is very evident. Make sure, as I always like to remind you, keep your cup of good drink with you, whatever you may be drinking, to keep that palate clear. I don't recommend fruity drinks when you're tasting flavors because it will mask the taste that you're actually going for. So make sure you use a neutral drink. Like, I like to drink regular tea or water. I was very, very addicted to Dr. Pepper. I was literally the lady that bought the 20 for 20 deals at Kroger and whatnot. So yeah. And I switched from a 2.5 a day. That's a lot of soda for one person to ingest. There we go. Let's try this again. Still very dominant in the orange, and it doesn't matter how many times you clean your palate, that's definitely going to stay orange. I'm not getting any other flavors, so I'm hoping that they were going for an orange sherbet. But the rainbow lettering on the bottle could definitely confuse you. as I have the rainbow bottle here compared to the Simply Envious Elvis, sorry, by the same company. They are two totally different colors, as you see. So it makes you wonder if it is supposed to be a rainbow sherbet or if it's supposed to be an orange. Very confusing. That could be identified with the little description on the bottle. Definitely very orange still. So let's go up to 45 and see if that makes a difference. We are now at 45. If you guys are vaping with me on the same thing, that's awesome. Shout outs. I will be switching equipment very soon, so I will be giving you good reviews on the equipment too. Still really orange, and I think that's going to be very dominant through the entire tank. And I'm the type of person that likes to literally sit and vape the entire tank with you versus doing like just drops. I am not that kind of person. I would rather sit and actually understand the entire flavor profile through a tank. Granted, some people find that kind of wasteful to try flavors, but that's just kind of what I do. And I'll try pretty much anything that you throw at me unless it's peach. But that can be solved. I do have people who will come on and do peach flavors. The orange is going to just stay dominant. So let's go ahead and go to the max of my battery, which is 50 watts. I don't know if you can see that very well, but the glare from the TV is not working out very well. So let's keep this up. The bite had stayed at a 3 all the way until then, but that one was definitely a 4. That was very intense, but that can be also fixed by breathing your bottle and steeping. It might change. I steeped my bottles for a week. Every bottle I buy, I always steep for a week, and I try to buy at least 2 bottles each week, so that way I have them just backed up and ready to go for the next try, sample, review, whatever you want to call it. But I try to keep them always lined up. But that one was very orange dominant, and the bite was really intense for me. Some people really like the bite, so if you're one of those people, that's definitely something you would like to try, at least. But as I always try to tell people, no matter what my reviews say, always try the flavor for yourself before you actually purchase any e-liquid. It's very orange, and that's going to probably stay at the most dominant of all of this, so I am going to go ahead and back my battery back down to where I normally vape, which is at a 22.4. That seems to be my, the sweet spot for me. Mind my forehead for a second, because I do have to plug in my battery. Because I kind of just like ran through this review really quick to try and hurry up and get it on here for you guys, so I can continue to put out more and more review videos for you of local based companies, as well as ones that I would definitely recommend from out of state, hands down, 5 stars. I won't recommend anything less than that that's out of state, but definitely something that I would vote a 10 out of 10 will definitely go on my channel. But with that said and everything, we're going to go ahead and talk about what I would vote this flavor as. I would vote the flavor of the e-liquid definitely, for me, an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. I am an orange sherbet fan myself, but I do really like the lime flavors and the strawberry, and if that was what they were going for, it definitely would be something I would revise the flavor if that's what you were going for, but other than that, it's really good. I'm not going to knock it. It's not something I would vape on all day, but there is a lot of people who love orange, so it might be something for you. But for me personally, this is definitely something that will go into my secondary row, which is my almost favorites, and I will definitely have to continue vaping this, and it might be better once it's breathed. That's something you would want to check out like Rip Trippers for. He's really good at explaining that stuff, and I actually learned these things from him, so definitely worth checking out, as well as Indoor Smokers. He is awesome. He's hilarious. And Tia Vapes, she's just amazing. She definitely gave me the inspiration to do something like this because I am not a purple people person. I know that made some of you laugh. But the flavor, definitely 8 out of 10. Child safety, a 6 out of 10. The bottle design, an 8 out of 10. The warning label, definitely a 9 out of 10. Only could have added one sentence, but I'm really not going to knock it because it does give you the warning. And it's definitely something that if you haven't already looked up the information about, you probably should do that. With the child safety, I really do feel it could have been a little bit better. I know I've said that a couple times, but it is not the greatest bottle to try and keep a child out of. If I can get this open, it's definitely going to get opened by a child, especially my little kid, because she's monstrous. But definitely worth steeping and breathing if you are an orange flavor person. If you don't like an intense bite, definitely check out not Indoor Smokers, but Rip Trippers, and he will explain a lot of that stuff to you through his videos. But with everything said and done, it's a pretty good flavor. I am not going to knock it. I do like it. It is pretty good. It's not an all-day vape for me, as I'm not a very big orange person. I do love fruity vapes. I'm more of a dessert vape or a sweet tobacco type person, but it is really good. So if you like oranges, definitely check it out. Once again, the flavor is called Serious Sherbert by Simply. And it is a 30 milliliter bottle. They don't come any less than that, but it is worth the money if it's something you have the extra cash and willing to try, and you've tried it at the store and you like it. But do remember that trying on the cartomizer, whatever you want to call them, I call them cartomizers, I believe that's what they're called, on the little ego sticks. That will be a different flavor if you're, vaping on a sub-ohm or a mod. The flavor is going to be a lot different. So definitely worth doing your research with somebody who has vaped them on a mod or on something different. If you are on a mod, or if you're on a cartomizer, that is something I wouldn't review with, because I don't personally recommend those to anyone unless you're an absolute 100% beginner and have never tried an e-cig before. So let's have a final vape, and you guys can go on about your day. Have a good one, guys.